Welcome to our English speaking practice class. I am so excited for you to be here because I know that you want to practice speaking in English, right? Of course you do. And that's what we're going to do today. So, what are we going to practice talking about and how are you going to practice? Well, in this class, you're going to provide advice to a friend. Why? Because this is something that you can do in your real world situation. You can use this with your friends, your family members, your coworkers, with anyone. And because you get to use some really great grammar and practice the grammar as well. So, what kind of grammar would you use to provide advice to a friend? Do you know? If you know, put it in the comments. What kind of grammar would you use? Provide advice to a friend. Well, first of all, I want to remind you that this is a speaking class. I want you to practice your speaking. So, how are you going to practice your speaking if, of course, you're watching this on your device? We're not in a classroom together, a live classroom. So, how can you practice your speaking? Well, I want you to answer out loud. So I want you to open your mouth and say the answer out loud. I want you to hear the sound of your voice. Now, of course, you can put it in the comments too, because you can practice your sentence structure and take some time to really form those sentences. But I want you to answer out loud to practice speaking. Do we have a deal? Okay, great. Now, getting back to the grammar, if you're providing advice to a friend, you're going to use your modal verbs. Here are some modal verbs that we're going to practice in this class and you're going to get very comfortable with. The first one, must. Now, remember, with modal verbs, you use the modal and the base verb. Must plus base verb. So this is used for a strong obligation. It sounds like something an authority figure would say to you. An authority figure could be your boss, your parents, your significant other. A friend might talk to you from a position of authority as well, or of course, police, government, a position of authority. Now, if you want to sound less strong but still make an obligation, you can use have to. Notice that preposition too. You have to plus base verb. Also, you should and then base verb. This is for a recommendation or suggestion. You could plus base verb. This is for the possibility. The possibility exists. Now, how about this one? If I were you, I would plus base verb. This is for a hypothetical situation. And notice, I were. I were. Because in this hypothetical situation, we use were for all subjects. It doesn't change. If I were you, if she were you, if we were you, you use were in all situations. So, how about we practice and we'll go through each one first and you'll have lots of chance to practice. This one. Okay. Now, you're going to provide advice. So, I'm your friend and I say to you, "Oh my goodness, you won't believe it, Jorge. You won't believe it, Mossab. You won't believe it, Tommy. You won't believe it, Yuri. My coworker is stealing from the company." Now, this, I am coming to you as a friend to get your advice. So you need to provide me, your friend, advice. Now, let's practice using must plus base verb. And I chose this example specifically because remember, must is for an obligation. It's a very strong obligation. And this sounds like a very extreme situation. My coworker is stealing from the company. Now, when you steal something, notice you steal from someone or something being the company. So when you steal something, just like you can see in this picture, you take something that doesn't belong to you. You can steal an object, like here. You could steal money, of course. My coworker is stealing from the company. You could steal information as well. So, how about let's practice this? You must. What could you provide as advice? You must what? You must, maybe you must report this. You must tell your boss. You must tell someone. You must talk to your coworker. Those are all options. What else could we say? So practice this. Put an example in the comments. You must, and then your base verb. You must tell someone. Notice you tell someone something, or you must say something to someone. You must say something to your boss. You must tell your boss. So notice the different structure there. So Tommy said, you must return it. Yes, exactly. So you would be talking directly to the person who stole it. You must return it. Now, if you're providing advice to a friend, it would be you must tell your coworker to return it, because I'm not the one who stole it. It's the coworker who stole it. You must tell your coworker to return it, or speaking directly to the coworker, you must return it. Very nice, Tommy. How about Horatio said, you must talk to your boss. Exactly. So you talk to someone. You must talk to your boss. And notice your modal verb must and then the base verb. You must talk to your boss. Very good. Alexander said, you must report to the compliance department. Oh, exactly. So the compliance department, a specific department in the company. Now, there's something we need to do here, Alexander. You report something. So this requires the object. You must report this. You must report it to the compliance department. But you must use the object. So notice I just used must because I'm speaking from a point of obligation, because there are rules in the English language. So you hear me and your other teachers say you must conjugate your verb. You must use an article, because these are not suggestions, they're requirements from a position of authority, how the English sentence structure works. So you must use an object. You must report this to the compliance department. Excellent suggestion. Okay. How about Miranda? You must tell him. Exactly. You tell someone. You must tell him to not steal from the company. Not to steal, to not steal, both are acceptable. What Miranda did is she left the infinitive together and put not in front of it. You must tell him not to steal from the company, which is excellent, Miranda. Alternatively, you can do to not steal. That is acceptable as well. That's called a split infinitive, but to be on the safe side, keep your infinitive together and put not before, like Miranda did. Great job. Okay, excellent. Yuri said, I must warn him about the consequences. That's an excellent one. Very nice. I must warn him. You warn someone about something. I must warn you about the dangers of driving without a seatbelt. For example, warn him about the consequences. Very nicely done, Yuri. All right. So let's practice some more advice. Now, remember, I chose this one because must is a very strong obligation. Now, if you're enjoying this lesson, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, because I do more of these lessons and I have many lessons on my channel. So make sure you subscribe and put yes, yes, yes if you're enjoying this lesson. So I know you want more lessons just like this. So put yes, yes, yes in the comments as well. Now, how about our next situation? So I'm your friend. And I say to you, oh, Miranda, Alexander, oh, Yuri, I feel so tired all the time. It's affecting my work. Do you have any advice? And now let's practice have to plus base verb. Don't forget that preposition to, and you have to conjugate your verb have. Okay, so, and remember, you can put it in the comments, but I also want you to open your mouth and say the answer, say your advice, because I want you to practice speaking. So, I just feel so tired all the time. It's affecting my work. Notice affecting because this is a verb. Don't confuse this with effect. It's having an effect on my work because affect is a noun and affect with an A is a verb. So that's why I have the verb form here. Oh, well, first of all, I see lots of yes, 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 which is awesome. The spab is enjoying this lesson. Woohoo! Vila is from Laos, and I hope you're enjoying this lesson. You gave me a thumbs up. Make sure you thumbs up this video as well. Heidika is enjoying this lesson. Amazing. Freddie, yes. Woohoo. I'm so glad. Okay. Now, Mossab asked affect. Well, what does it mean? It means that this situation is so my work. Let's say every day I need to write a report, but I'm tired. So it's taking me longer to write, or my writing isn't as good. I'm making mistakes. All of those are examples of how it's affecting my work. So there's a consequence on my work because of the situation. The situation is, oh, I feel so tired all the time. So please, you're my friend. Give me some advice. Have to plus base verb. So, what could you say as advice? Put it in the comments and remember to practice speaking out loud as well because I want you to open your mouth, say the words because I want you to hear yourself speaking in English. Right now, I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm improving my speaking skills. But what about you? Okay, Yuri said, you have to go on vacation. Excellent suggestion. Thank you, Yuri. And that's true. So, everyone, open your mouth and say, you have to go on vacation. To go. Notice how I did to, unstressed, to go. Practice that. To go. To go on. Go on. To go on. To go on vacation. You have to go on vacation. All right, imitate my pronunciation to practice speaking as well. Excellent advice. And notice have plus to plus base verb. Alexander said, you have to take a rest since this tiredness is affecting your work, most likely. It could be affecting your work because you said my work, which belongs to Alexander, but you want to say your work, which would belong to me. You have to take a rest. Yes. And to be honest, in American English, we would probably say take a break, take a break, take a rest. Perhaps maybe is a little more British English. I don't speak British English, but in North America, we would say take a break, take a break. If I say take a rest, to me, that sounds like have a nap, have a nap, but take a break means I'm going to stop working and I'm going to go for a bike ride or go on vacation or go play with my cats for a little bit, something like that. Okay. And Freddie said, I have to take a nap. I'm so exhausted. Yes, exactly. Very good. I have to take a nap. Now, in American English, we don't contract, we don't take our subject have and form a contraction when have is the main verb. I have to take a nap. Oh, I'm so exhausted. But Freddie, they do in British English. But I just want you to know in American English, we wouldn't form that contraction. I would say, I have to take a nap. You have to take a nap to provide advice to someone else. Okay. And Alexander said, you have to visit a doctor checking the reasons for this tiredness. Exactly. You have to visit a doctor so she can or so he can check the reasons for this tiredness. Exactly. Very nice. Fatima, similar advice. You have to do a checkup. Yes, exactly. We would say you have to get a checkup or go for a checkup. And exactly what Alexander said. So the doctor performs the checkup where he just checks your vitals and checks your heart, maybe even takes blood to check for any issues. But the doctor does the checkup, but as me, as the patient, I would go for a checkup or I would get a checkup. Oh, I'm getting a checkup. I'm going for a checkup. Okay. And Manuel said, have to make a break for longer. Ah, very nice advice, Manuel. Now, with break, what verb do we use? You don't make a break, but you take. You have to take a break. Take a break. Take a long break. So take a break where you stop working for a period of time. Sergi said, you have to change your focus temporarily. Excellent job. So now I'm focused on work. So I have to change my focus and maybe focus on my health or focus on my hobbies, focus on my family. Change your focus temporarily. So temporarily means for a period of time, but not permanently. Very nice. Okay. Patricia says you have to take a long pause this summer. So, again, in American English, very nice, Patricia, we would say take a break. Take a break. Take a break. Okay. Phyllis said, you have to get a few days off. Yes, exactly. You have to get a few days off. You have to take a few days off. You can also use the verb take. You take time off. If I take time off, it means I do not work those days, even though normally I do. So let's say this week I take Friday off. Well, then it means I normally work on Friday, but this Friday I don't work. I'm taking Friday off. All right. Awesome. Let's try one more. Wake up said, you have to take a trip. Exactly. Another verb with take. You have to take a trip and spend your own time chilling there. So, chilling, that's a nice casual way of saying relaxing, taking a break, chilling. I'm just chilling. Very good. Excellent job, everybody. Everyone has such wonderful advice. And make sure you're practicing this out loud to practice your speaking as well. How about our next situation? I'm your friend, of course. And I say, oh, Tomi, Shri, Gur, Mohammed, Freddie, Mosab, I have an important project at work, but I feel overwhelmed. So when you feel overwhelmed, it means that you have so many things to do or so many tasks, and you feel you don't have enough time, or maybe you don't have the skills required. You don't have the tools that you need. You don't have the support that you need. You don't have the team that you need, the other people. And all of this causes feelings of anxiety or frustration, overwhelm. So it's a negative feeling and it's a strong negative feeling. So let's provide some advice. What can you please help me? I need your advice. What should I do? So here, let's practice should plus base verb. You should what? Put put it in the comments. I have an important project at work, but I feel overwhelmed. What should I do? Please give me some advice. I need your help. So remember, I want you to practice speaking, open your mouth and say it out loud. And after, you can also put it in the comments so I can make sure it's correct. And then once I review it, you can practice again and try to imitate my pronunciation. So let's practice overwhelmed. Notice this ED, whelmed. It's a very soft D, whelmed, whelmed. And then you just add over, overwhelmed. Repeat after me, overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. Good. Make sure you're practicing that out loud to practice your pronunciation. Now, notice you can feel overwhelmed or you can be overwhelmed, but I'm overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed. Both of them are correct. All right. So let's see some advice that you are providing to me. So, first of all, Mauricio said, you got a lot on your plate. Exactly. So, this is a great definition of when you're overwhelmed, it means you have a lot on your plate. So, when you have a lot on your plate, it means you're very busy. You're busy with many different tasks, many different responsibilities. So, what about you? Do you have a lot on your plate today? Do you have a lot on your plate this week? It means you have your to-do list is very long. You have many different tasks, many responsibilities. This doesn't have to be just with work. It could be at home as well. You have to plan a party. You have to take your parents to a doctor's appointment. You have to help your kids with schoolwork. You have a lot of chores to do at home. So all of that means you have a lot on your plate. Okay, so you can practice that as well. Great idiom. So that's an idiom, to have a lot on one's plate, your plate. So Manuel said, you should ask for help. So remember, if you're providing this as advice to someone, you want to use you as the subject. You should ask for help. And you don't need a help, it's just help, because help doesn't have a singular or plural form. I need so much help. I need a lot of help, but we don't add an S to help. So you don't need an article. I need help. You should ask for help. And that's an excellent piece of advice, because if I feel overwhelmed, it's because I have so many things to do. So I should ask for help. Very good advice, Manuel. I agree with you. Okay. Mosab said, you should be patient with your work. Isn't that great advice? A lot of times we feel overwhelmed because we think we need to do everything right now. But if you're just patient, then you realize you don't have to do everything right now. Very nice. Nice advice. Okay. Anna said, first of all, ooh, very nice way to start. First of all, you should figure out what's causing it. Very nice. So figure out, this is a phrasal verb, to figure out. So it's in the base verb form. And when you figure something out, it means you understand it, you know the cause of it, you know why it's happening, and you can take action to solve it as well. So you should figure out what's causing it. Very nicely said, Anna. Okay, and Keaton said you should divide your work in a team. Very nice. So you should divide your work. So I have all this work and I should take one piece and give it to someone else and give this. So that would be divide your work. You should divide your work among your team. You should divide your work with your team. So those are prepositions you can use. Very good. And you had your should and base verb. Okay. And Gord said, what should I do? Exactly. What should I do? Please give me your advice. Okay. And Boshra said, You should take it easy. Exactly. You should take it easy. Take a deep breath and motivate yourself before starting. Isn't that very nice advice? You should take it easy. So, take it easy is another way of just saying, just relax a little. Don't do so much. Take it easy. Okay. So I should stay calm first. Exactly. So if you're providing advice to yourself, I should stay calm. But if you're providing someone advice to someone else, you should stay calm. Very nice. Wake Up said you should ask for some help from your coworker. Yes, you can ask for help. You ask for something from someone. You should ask for some help. And remember, because help is always singular, there's no S, some help from your coworker. Very nice. Okay. Patricia said you should loosen up. So if you're uptight or if you're overwhelmed, notice how your body actually becomes tight like this. Everything is tight, but then, now loosen up. Loosen up. So this means you should be more relaxed. Loosen up. You should loosen up. Very nice, Patricia. I love that. Okay, excellent advice, everyone. Let's practice another one. How about could? Now, remember with could is for possibility. So it's just a possibility. It doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you must. It doesn't even mean you should. It's just a possibility. So I'm just sharing one possibility, and then you can decide if it's a good possibility or a bad possibility. So could is a very soft way to provide advice. So how about this one? I can't stop scrolling on my phone, just hours and hours a day, especially right before bed. I just sit there, I'm in bed, I'm scrolling on my phone. I waste so much time because I'm not doing anything productive. I'm not watching a video to help me improve my English speaking skills or learn how to use modal verbs correctly. I have both of those videos on my channel. So make sure you like this video and subscribe so you're not scrolling without a purpose. You can watch videos for educational purposes. So subscribe to my channel for lots more. But could plus base verb. You could and then a base verb. And remember, this is just a possibility. It's not a requirement, it's a possibility. So it's a soft way to introduce advice. So, what can I do? Provide a piece of advice using could and base verb. And remember, open your mouth and say it out loud to practice speaking as well. Okay, Tommy said you could leave your phone at home. Now, Tommy is not saying you must, you have to, or even you should. You could. It's a possibility. Very nice, Tommy. And base verb, you could leave. Leave is the base verb. You could leave your phone at home. Yeah, that's actually really good advice. I really like that advice. Now, you can change at home. If I am home and let's say I have a problem scrolling before bed, you could leave your phone in a different room or leave your phone in your car. And that way it isn't in your house when you're trying to go to bed. Excellent advice, Tommy. I really like that. Okay, what else could I do? Please give me some suggestions. Give me some advice. Jonathan said, you could try again and again till you make it. Yes, exactly. Just keep trying. You could try again and again. Now, I like how you added that again and again. Now, native speakers, sometimes we add it more just to be dramatic. I tried again and again and again and again, but I'm still overwhelmed or I still can't stop scrolling. Very nice advice. Okay. And Horatio said, you could turn it off. Well, isn't that a great possibility? I could turn it off. So again, it's not an obligation. You must turn it off. Notice how different that sounds. You must turn it off. You could turn it off. So there's a big difference between these modals, and that's why we're practicing. Very nice advice. Mosab said, you could resist temptation. Oh, you could resist temptation. So the temptation is that I'm just sitting here and I have this feeling in me, or the little voice says, pick up your phone, pick up your phone. And then if I resist it, I say, nope, not going to do it. Not going to pick up my phone. I just resisted the temptation. Very nice, Mosab. Okay. Rebel said you could use block apps to stop scrolling. Ah, exactly. So block apps, I guess those are apps that they block your ability. So they make it impossible for you to scroll. So I don't know how it works, but that sounds like a very beneficial app to have. Thank you for that suggestion, Rebel. I'm going to look into this. Now, notice if someone gives you some advice, you can always say something nice. Oh, thank you. That's a great suggestion. That's great advice. Advice is always singular. So you don't say that's great. That's all great advice. All great advice. No, it's just that's great advice. But that's a great suggestion because suggestion is singular or plural, but advice is always singular. That's a great suggestion. That's great advice. Okay. Now, Farhad said, is this live? Yes, indeed, it is live. But if you're watching the replay, which of course will be after this is live, still practice along. I still read the comments, even if you're commenting after the live session. So please practice along with us, even if this isn't live. I still will read your comments, and I'm very excited to hear your advice as well. So, hello, everyone watching the replay after this is live. It's great to have you here. Okay. You should. Okay, let's see this one. Fatima said you could read a book instead. Exactly. And this is a suggestion. It's one possibility you could. And then we can decide together. Actually, yeah, that's really good advice because if I'm reading a book, my mind will be occupied with that book and I won't be tempted. I'll resist the temptation to pick up my phone and scroll because I'm doing something else. Very nice advice. Thank you, Fatima. Okay, Forever said you could start reading some books. Exactly. When this happens, we have an expression. Do you know what that expression is? In this exact situation, you can say, great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. Great minds think, because think is conjugated with minds. They think alike. Great minds think alike because Fatima said read a book and Forever says read a book. So great minds think alike. You could start reading some books in some times as daily basis and don't think of your phone. Exactly. Great job, Forever. Boshra said you could fill your life with various activities which interest you. Exactly. Exactly. Because if I have a lot of activities, I won't be tempted. Again, that temptation is the noun form, and then to tempt is the verb. To be tempted, I'm receiving it. I won't be tempted to use my phone because I'm spending time on activities. Very nice. Okay. Jamie said, you could talk to someone from time to time. Exactly. I could talk to a friend, talk to my family, talk to my students instead of scrolling on my phone. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, isn't this amazing advice? You might be having some of these problems that I'm sharing. So now you have a lot of advice as well. Let's listen or let's review one more together. Okay. Wake up said, you could set an alarm to go off in a few minutes. And then when the alarm goes off, just go to sleep. Oh, this is a really good time. You're giving yourself a limit. I can use my phone for, let's say, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And I set my alarm. When the alarm goes off, I put my phone away. That's excellent advice. Wake up. Very good. Okay. Now, this is a hypothetical. Remember, if I were you, and we use were for all subjects. So if she were you, if they were you, because it's a hypothetical, and I am not you. If I were you, I would, and then base verb. Just know that native speakers don't always follow this rule. Native speakers commonly say, if I was you, if I was you, I would. Okay. A native speaker will say that. Don't be confused when you hear a native speaker say that. Just understand they're not following the grammar rule. But for yourself, for your IELTS, for academic writing, for any professional writing, the grammar rule is in this conditional. And you know it's a conditional because it starts with if. If you need were for all subjects. So it doesn't change. Now, the past simple of the verb to be conjugates with the subject. I was tired yesterday. You were tired. She was tired. We were tired. They were tired. It conjugates. But in this conditional, it does not conjugate. It's were for all subjects. Also, note you can change the order. You can say, I would, and then base verb. I would go to bed if I were you. So you can start with I would and then add on if I were you, or you can change it. If I were you, I would, and then your base verb. Okay, so the situation Alexander, Gore, Najib, Freddie, Jamie, Anna, I don't like my job, but it pays well and I need to support my family. What should I do? What should I do? So you can reply back if I were you. So you're putting yourself in my shoes. You're pretending that this situation is happening to you and you're sharing how you would handle, deal with, address this situation. So notice I said, you're putting yourself in my shoes. That's a great expression as well. To put yourself in someone's shoes. You're imagining you're that person. Okay, so let's review some of these. And remember, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you like it and subscribe so you get more great lessons like this. And so you can support this channel so I can make these lessons available to you as well. So Horatio said, if I were you, so Horatio is now Jennifer. So you can lead this class now, Horatio. If I were you, I would look for another job before quitting. Oh, very nice. I would look. Look is the base verb. And notice you look for something. So you need that preposition for. You look for a job. And then he said before. Before is a preposition. So you also need your gerund verb after this preposition, before quitting. Before quitting. You could also say before you quit to use a subject and verb, but you can just use the verb in ing form. If I were you, I would look for another job before quitting. Excellent advice, Horatio. Thank you. Okay. And Tommy said, If I were you, I would change the environment. Exactly. I would change the environment. And then, of course, Tommy can give me more information about, well, how can I do that? What do you mean by that? What can I change? So, of course, you can add on to this. And remember, you can switch this. You can say, I would change base verb. I would change the environment if I were you. So you can flip that word order as well. Olga said, if I were you, I would try to find some interesting in my job. Very nice. You just need to add something interesting in my job. I would try. So, try is our base verb. I would try to find something interesting in my job. Excellent suggestion. So, I would find a way to make my current job more interesting. That would be changing the sentence structure, but saying the same thing. Very good. Jonathan said, if I were you, I would apply for a new job. Exactly. Very nice. I would apply for. You apply for something, and that something being a position. Apply for a new job. Very good. Okay. And Muhammad said, if I were you, I would keep learning about my passion till I get the appropriate job. Appropriate. I think you mean appropriate, but you just forgot the A. The appropriate job. Yes, exactly. Because my problem is that I don't like my job, but maybe I don't like it because I'm not passionate about it. I'm not interested in it. So I need to keep learning about my passion. And this is what Muhammad would do in this situation. So if Muhammad were in my shoes, okay, excellent. Vig said, if I were you, I would work harder. I would work hard. Work hard, work harder. Both of them the same. Both of them are grammatically correct. Very nice. If you're working hard, maybe you're too busy to notice you don't even like your job. Very nice. If I were you, I would work hard. Nice. Beauty said, if I were you, I would try for another job that I like. That I like. Yeah, I would try to get another job that I like. Very nice, Beauty. Alexander said, if I were you, I would try to find good characteristics of the current job apart from the salary. Oh, very nice. So change my focus. Try to find something that I enjoy about my current job. If I were you, very good. And Wake Up said, if I were you, I would find something fun as a hobby for yourself. I wouldn't quit the job because it pays well. Exactly. And notice, great job, Wake Up, because you can use I would or you can make it negative. If I were you, I wouldn't quit. I wouldn't quit because I don't like it. I would find something fun as a hobby. So great job using that negative. All right. Awesome job, everyone. Okay. And Patrice said, if I were you, I would think twice before any further action. Okay. So think twice. I like that. Make sure you think twice before quitting. Before is our preposition. So your verb would be an ing. So think twice. You think once and then you think again because it's a serious decision. Excellent advice, Patrice. Okay, how about this one? Now, notice I didn't provide the model. So now we tried must, have to, should, could, and if I were you. So we have our 5 options, and you can choose any of those options. And let's practice this one. So now you can choose any of them. You can even combine them as well. So Najib, Alexander, Catan, Patrice, Mohammed, Sai, Gore, Obaid. I need a new car. Look at this car. I can't get around in this. It barely even works and is really bad for the environment as well. I need a new car, but I can't afford one right now. What can I do? What should I do? Can you give me some advice? Can you help me? What would you do in my situation? What would you do if you were me? What would you do in my shoes? So notice all the different ways you can even ask someone to share their opinion with you, to provide you advice, to provide you with suggestions or recommendations. There are so many different ways you can even ask for advice. So make sure you can go back and review that section I just shared, and you can write all of those down as well. So I need a new car, but I can't afford one right now. What should I do? And remember, open your mouth and practice, practice, practice speaking out loud as well. And if you haven't already, if you're enjoying this lesson, make sure you subscribe, like this lesson, and also put yes, yes, yes. So I know you're enjoying this lesson. And if you're enjoying it, then I'll keep making lessons like this where we practice your speaking and we have fun and it's more interactive as well. So put yes, yes, yes if you're enjoying this lesson as well. Okay, so positive thinking said, if I were all rich, I would buy a new car. Okay. Now, rich, you don't need an article in front of it. It's just if I were rich. If I were rich. If I were rich, I would buy a new car. You could also say if I had the money. Now, the money, because it's the money to buy the car, it's specific money. It's not just money in general, it's the money that you need to buy a new car. If I had the money, if I were rich, I would buy a new car. Yes, excellent positive thinking. Very good. And that's why you're positive thinking, because you're going to think positively about this. Alexander said, if I were you, great job practicing that conditional. If I were you, I'd check a credit for this car. Okay, very nice. I'd check for a credit for this car. So to see if there's an option to get a new card on credit. So with a credit card, or if the car company will provide a loan, or maybe the bank will provide a loan as well. So you can use a credit card, or you can get a loan from the car company or the bank as well. Or maybe even a family member could provide you with a loan, give you the money that you need. But with a loan, you have to give the money back at a later period. So maybe your brother, your uncle, your mom gives you the money, but it's a loan. In the future, you have to give the money back. Okay. And Alexander said, if I were you, I would consider a second hand. Yeah, a second hand car. Does anyone know what a second hand car is? It's a used car. So it's a car that isn't brand new. Someone else previously owned the car, so it will be cheaper. A second-hand car, a used car. Christian said, if I were you, I would start saving part of my salary to buy it. Very nice. And good job using start saving. Start saving. Saving is in the ing form because start is a gerund verb. I would start saving part of my salary. So your whole salary, you take one piece and you save it to buy it. Very nice. Miranda said you should. Nice job using should. You should buy a bike. Exactly. Great suggestion. I can't afford a car. Well, there are other ways to get around. You should. So, should, providing a suggestion, recommendation, piece of advice, you should buy a bike. Really good suggestion. And if I can't afford a car, well, bikes are a lot cheaper. All right. And Tommy is enjoying this lesson. Yes, yes. Thank you. Leanne is enjoying this lesson. Yes, yes, yes. Hate, Hate, At is enjoying this lesson. Ella, Moses, Obaid. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad you're enjoying this lesson. I'm certainly having a lot of fun as well. Okay. And Manuel said, were I to have enough money, I would buy a new car. Yeah. Were I to have enough money. If I were to have enough money, were I to have enough money? Yeah, it's an alternative sentence structure you can use. Great job. All right. UCS said, if I were you, I would save money for investing. Very nice. I would save money for investing. Very good. If I were you. Okay. And Beauty said, I will work hard that I would buy a new car. Yeah. So you could say, I would. You can use would because it's the hypothetical. I would work hard in this situation. I'm not in this situation, but if I were, so that hypothetical, I would work hard until I could buy. Could is for the ability. I could buy a new car. I would work hard until I could buy a new car. Very nice, Beauty. And that's great, great advice. Anna said, you shouldn't go into debt at all. Very nice. So, should is for advice and recommendations, but you can make it negative for, of course, things to avoid. You shouldn't go into debt. Use a bike or public transportation are some good options for you at this moment. Yeah, very nice. All right. And Hosine said, if I were you, so the hypothetical, I would borrow some money from a friend. Exactly. Very nice. I would borrow. So borrow is the same thing. You say to your friend, hey, Hosine, could I borrow $10,000 to buy a new car? And then Hosine says, yes, of course, Jennifer, you're my friend. Here you go. But it's temporary. So I borrow money from Hosine, and Hosine lends me money. So I borrow money from, I receive the money. Hosine lends me money. He gives me the money temporarily, but I have to give it back to Hosine. And of course, I will give it back. I will pay you back. Pay someone back. I will pay you back, Hosine. You can count on me. Okay. Catan said, I advise you could exchange your car with a new one. If you exchange your old car, it will help in the price. Exactly. So I advise you, and then you could just use the verb. I advise you to exchange. Otherwise, you could just say you could. You could exchange your car for a new one, and it will help with the price. So it will help lower the price because I give you this car and I get some money for it. And then that money goes towards a new one. Very good. And Jonathan said, in my shoes, I keep working to buy a new car. Exactly. Very nice. Okay. And Mosab said, if I were you, I would deal with my car until I can afford buying a new one. Yes. So afford is just a regular verb, and then you use the infinitive until I can afford to buy a new one. All right. Very nice. Wow, so many suggestions, everyone. This has been such an amazing class, and it's been so awesome having everyone here. And I really appreciate all the suggestions that you provided. I feel like I have a lot to review now, all your suggestions. So again, make sure you like this lesson, subscribe for more lessons, and put yes, yes, yes in the comments so I know that you want more lessons just like this where we can be a little more interactive. And of course, I know right now you might be watching the replay. Just know if you're watching the replay, I'll still read your comments. I'll still reply to them. So even in the replay, I'm so happy to have you on. And thank you everyone for joining me live. Put yes, yes, yes. Make sure you like this lesson, subscribe because it really supports my channel so I can keep making these lessons for you. And I will see everyone very soon for another lesson. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I will see everyone soon. Sending you lots of love. Bye.